So this is a kind of entertaining video, and it's a very educational video, and it's a informative video for people like me that are private sellers, for people like you, or maybe you're just like me, you sell plants, you're somehow involved in money making of plants. You've saw the COVID spike in prices, and now a couple years later, where are we with these prices, and have plant prices dropped big time? So I was looking at this Facebook post, and the comments were very, very interesting. So I wanted to go over a few, because there's not a lot of comments, but there's a decent amount of them. There's 76 of them. And usually these groups, they have a lot of, I guess, real, raw opinions and knowledgeable opinions, because you get a sporadic you get a whole lot of crowds. You get Facebook's big. I like Facebook because Facebook is real. Facebook used to scare me. Like I said in one of my videos, it kind of made me sell undercover, but now I'm out in the open, because I just was overwhelmed and not prepared for what I would be reading in some of these plant groups, because I thought that the plant world was, a happy place, but it's a place where scammers are on Facebook. There's all types of bad actors out there. But let's talk about this plant prices. What one person says: the only thing that had deflation rather than inflation. All right. Okay. So someone says dropped for sure. I believe it so. So definitely. Another person says, I regret buying my small red Anderson for $240. Now I see huge ones go for that price. Someone below says, don't feel bad. I spend twice that for my little tiny baby. Don't feel bad. I spent twice that for my tiny little baby. So she spent more for red Anderson. That was double the amount of $240. Another one person says, I got mine for $1,400 in the beginning. Made my money back through cuttings, but woof, haha. Yeah, so he made his money back. That's where I'm at. You got to make your money back. It's a game. And that's what I was thinking. These plants, as they get more and more common, and more people in the U.S. get them, like people like me, we're creating more. We're farming more, so the supply is growing and the demand is slowing down. So this is good. Another person says, same. I paid $200 for a node a few months ago. Whoops. $200 for a node of a red Anderson philodendron, just for a tiny node. All right. This is another inspiration. This is another interesting comment that is insightful, and this person knows a little bit about the plant world and suppliers and growers. This guy says, that's what happens when Costa and Urban started mass producing all these PPPs, etc. Dropped market a lot. Just gotta keep up on the stuff not in stores. I would never give my money to those corps anyway. They can't even name their plants correctly. So let me go that again, just in case that sounded weird for you. So this guy says, that's what happens when Costa and Urban starts mass producing all these PPPs, pink princess philodendrons, etc. Drop market a lot. Just got to keep up on those stuff. Just got to keep up on the stuff that's not in stores. I would never give my money to those corps anyway. They can't even name their plants correctly. So I guess, and I've seen this a couple times, Costa Farms, things, I don't know what's going on, but they're good and bad, so sometimes stuff happens, I guess, when you got people doing things, labeling things. But that's what that one guy says about that. Lowering that description, says, while Costa has issues, I personally love the plants that are becoming accessible or affordable to more people. Plants as a status symbol is kind of gross to me. So yeah, people have plants and then they think that it's a status symbol, like a Louis bag or a Mercedes Benz, or I know when I was buying those high priced plants, I was excited. I took a lot of pictures. I wasn't bragging, even though it might have been, but I was just happy I had the plant, because I wanted the plant. I'm a collector. I got the plant. But some people do buy these plants and want to brag about it. But anyway, Yeah, gross to me. Most people couldn't even afford to buy these. Now they're mass-produced plants at their peak. COVID prices, nor was their supply to meet the demand. Ultimately, more people being able to get more plants is the plus, which is true. And this guy says that's why I started my own LLC and provide just a good enough, not better pricing, faster shipping, plus cheaper. So he's kind of like me. He started an LLC, does better products, better pricing, opportunity and plant, and started a side stream of income. That's where I'm at, and I know I wasn't the only one to do that. A lot of other private sellers are out there. So she congratulates him. That's cool. All right. It says Urban Jungle is owned by Live Trends, who are owned by Costa Farms, by the way. It's all Costa. So Costa owns a bunch of stuff. Interesting. I didn't know that. Then somebody chimes in, not on the same thread, but yes, thank goodness. That was a wild ride. It was a wild ride seeing all those plant prices. I just want to say, I was trying to get my hands on a Jopai or a Jopi philodendron, but I don't know. I'm glad I didn't. I just gotta say, glad I didn't. My last expensive plant was and is the strawberry shake philodendron, and I have made my money back on it. And I have a couple that have started to revert. I have one that reverted, and I have a couple. So I'm so happy I still have the strawberry shake philodendron. The prices. That page, the strawberry shake philodendron page, if you're on it, nobody, just notice that, just see if you see anybody making transactions on the strawberry shake philodendron Facebook page. Let me know in the comment section if you see what you see out there. Just would be interesting to see. All right. Somebody says the bubble popped, thank goodness. She's happy that the bubble popped. All right, another person says tissue culture and mass domestic production are drastically dropping prices. It's tough for sellers, but good for overall, I think. Yeah, it's like someone taking care, of nurseries. They mass produce stuff and they take care of stuff mass, but some people have their own collection that they have, taken care of. So it's different. It's good to see. All right. So another person says they have dropped tremendously. I'm glad they are more affordable, but at the same time, it's not easy to recoup all that money I've spent on $200 cuttings that are now $50. And she has like laugh signs. Yeah. Somebody says to her, feel this so much. Yeah, she can relate. I think the only cutting that I really regret getting is the Florida Beauty. I bought a node, and it was the only node. It was my first ever node, and I had it coming back. Then it just declined on me. We're not going to talk about it anymore. All right. Another person says plant prices were overly inflated and are now dropping back to their normal level. Very true. Another person says now just waiting on for anthuriums to drop too. People asking $100 to $300 for seed are crazy. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Yeah, seeds are crazy. Oh, the other person says, wow, I only asked $10 for seed. He's got $10 seeds. Might have to hit him up. Oh, other replies. Matter of fact, let me screenshot that. All right, other replies. Just saw yesterday a person posting over the plant groups his BVEP seeds for $300. I know is desired plant, but that is too excessive for one seed. $300 for one seed. Wow, I wasn't on that wave because I don't do anthuriums like that. I don't have a lot of anthuriums. I'm mostly philodendron, but those anthuriums do be pumping out a lot of seeds. I do notice that. People still charging $21 plant prices. I mean, it depends on the kind. Another person says, trying to justify those prices. About time. I'm glad plants are becoming more accessible to lower income folk. Man, I don't think it's lower income is the problem, because if you can save and you got a low income, because everybody that is trying to get money has to start out somehow, some way. So I guess, well, she's got a point, but a low income person could save with their money, try to do a flip, and then make money off of it. Just thinking out loud. All right, new thread. Never was supposed to be high in the first place. Just a few dozen people extracting wealth out of trusting community members. Ooh, that's rough. Extracting wealth out of trusting community members. Interesting. What do you think? Somebody chimes in. I want to see. Doesn't help people from overseas. Is limiting supply to driving driving up prices. Let me read that again. Doesn't help people from overseas. Is limiting supply to drive the prices up. Definitely depends on the rarity of the plant. Like all things, supply and demand. Very true. Like all things, ethics and morality. Interesting. Somebody says what a market can bear. Rare plants are costly just like anything else rare. Very true. They are costly like everything else rare. The thing is many were not rare. Interesting. Quote unquote rare plants, someone said. Say it louder for those who may still have their build blinders on. Somebody says. Amen. Interesting. New thread. I bought just earlier this year a baby one leaf variegated Adianci for $700 and thought it was already cheap from thousands per leaf earlier. Now down to $100 to $150 per cutting and already big. Arg. So this person just bought last year. Yeah. Because I was thinking about it too. $700 for Adianci variegated. They were $700 like this time last year, most likely, I want to say. And now, fast forward 1 year later, they're $100 to $150 per cutting. And I have seen that. Seen them joints. Now, I was looking at them. I was about to bite it. But that's what I was like, let me do. For my thinking, I was saying, I heard they revert. And they're Monstera. And I've had a Swiss cheese before. I know how fast they grow. So I was thinking about it, but I heard they revert, and those ones that were $700 were like one leaf, and I said I can't do one leaf for $700. I just can't see the flip on growing something out with one leaf for $700 and then waiting for another leaf, then a node, then trying to sell that for $700 or letting it grow out a little bit longer, maybe 3 or 4 nodes, then doing the chop and prop dance. It wasn't interesting to me to ever buy. And I saw 2 leaves, 3 leaves, but I decided on doing what I did. That was the last hurrah. Strawberry shake. Their prices are low. Their prices are about the same. And I think that strawberry shake and the Adianci dropped at the same time. And my strawberry shake is like, after I did the chop and prop, I could still do a couple more chopping props. But I think my main one that I got from Aeroid's greenhouse, I want to say, yeah, I got it from there. I want to say that one, I think I'm going to let it get really big and have a really nice strawberry shake philodendron. All right. So, yeah, I feel her pain with that. I mean, I do feel, but I'm glad I dodged that bullet. Because when you're doing these moves too, it's like you have to factor in a lot of variables with these plants. How fast they grow, are they good shippers, whole lot of stuff. I don't know if I did a video on that, but if you wanted me to do a video on that, let me know. But yeah, that really is a bummer. I feel bad for her right now. It's like I'm feeling for her. It's got me in some type of vibe. All right, so next thread. I don't want to keep reading that thread because it's messing with my spirit. Next thread. Demand for extraneous items is down from before, with inflation being up, but also the market is finally correcting, I think. Interesting point. Another person says they have. Yeah, they have. My mindset has changed over the last 2 years. Now, this is another person. Now I just buy certain specific plant that I like instead of random plants because it's a good deal. So let me read that again. My mindset has changed over the last 2 years. My mindset has changed over the last 2 years. Now I just buy certain specific plants that I like instead of random plants because of the good deal. All right, makes sense. That person has changed. It's, the game. Back to buying what he likes. I mean, I only buy what I like either. I only buy plants that I really like, or I guess some people buy them just to make money off of them, but I buy them because I like them and I can make money off of them. I don't know about buying a plant. I guess people do just buy the plant because they don't like it. Teach his own. All right, next person says, yes, I had a mint variegated Adianci that I had on reserve on it. Never reached the reserve, so I am keeping her until she gets big. All right, so let me read that again. Yes, I had a mint variegated Adianci that I had a reserve on it. Never reached the reserve, so I'm keeping her until she gets bigger. So I guess she was trying to sell it. She had a reserve and it never got met, so she's keeping it. Yes, thank goodness prices were stupidly inflated. I'm so thrilled. So is in all caps. And yes is all in all caps. All right. Plants drop first. Now we wait for housing to crash. That'll be a dream anyway. Well, housing, yeah, I guess housing is gonna crash, right? And somebody chimes in on that one. It will happen. Ooh, housing. All right, next thread. Probably supply and demand. More people got into plants during COVID, maybe. That was me for sure. So a lot of people were home and they were just taking care of plants, which I did. Yes, I'm here for it. Another person says, even though it sucks, I'm glad that I know so many other people feel bad about having spent so much on plants before, and now they've decreased dramatically. Recently, I keep looking at my plants with some hatred because I hate how I hate how I went crazy with spending. Oh man, he hates the plant. Oh man, jeez, he hates his plant. I could never think about hating my plant. I see, this is the stuff that I read and I can't even like fathom. But I get it. I try to understand both sides of people's thinking, but somebody chimes in on that same post. I feel your pain. Laugh out loud. Thank God she laughed. Another person says, this is why I could never bring myself to spend those crazy amounts. So she's kicking him while he's down. Cause she wouldn't think about spending those crazy amounts, and he's over there hating his plants. He's about to throw them joints out the window. Oh man, I can't even imagine. I'm about to chime and say something to him like, yo, oh man, I don't even know what to say. I'm not gonna say anything. Matter of fact, not gonna say anything. All right, next comment. Not on the same thread, different thread. Who remembers when the Spiritu Sancti went for over 21K? I do. Now you can buy a small one for $1,000. Not the same size, but mature ones aren't the price of a new car anymore either. Yeah, I remember that. 21,000 for one plant. 21,000. And that was a big plant, the Spiritu Sancti. I never even wanted it. I looked at it, I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's nice. 21,000 though. $21,000. $21,000 for a plant. There would be a whole lot of variables I would need to make and to calculate. My energy was not on $21,000 for a specific plant. And I was looking at that plant. I was looking at it. I looked at it. I was like, 21,000. I was like, how many nodes? And it looked almost like it had the Spiritu Sancti had like, well, if you look at it, I don't think the nodes were there. Because I was like, how many nodes? I was thinking, but I was like, nah, those long leaves, that's going to be a pain shipping. And who knows about the fast, how fast it grows. I didn't do the due diligence. I just